What if I said that everyone is a genius? Would you believe me? I don't know if I would believe me. I would be the first to say that I am not a genius. But when I say genius, I'm not necessarily pointing to the intellectuals, the PhDs, or our world's amazing savants. I'm highlighting those who have found something different inside and have retained that unique ability, maybe even a quirky one, to authentically share their heart, their sense of expression with the world. This is genius. And for all of us to find it, we must redefine it. We must protect it because we all have it. And we must all remain true to who we were designed to be. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Work Life Eubiosis podcast with your host, Charleston Edwards. If this is your first time here, welcome. My goal is simple: to eradicate burnout and to bring harmony, purpose, and balance to this world, starting with the family. My hope is that this show and the story shared will provide encouragement and ideas that will be valuable to you on your journey to work-life freedom. So let's dive in to today's episode. In the 1960s, NASA launched a longitudinal study of 1,600 children to identify the world's most innovative and creative minds. NASA's ultimate goal was to identify, recruit, and develop its future workforce. The results are still being talked about today. 98% of 5-year-olds tested as geniuses. By age 15, only 12% tested as genius. By age 31, only 2% tested as a genius. In adulthood, 98% of the test group lost their ability to think imaginatively and innovatively. In a way, both creativity and authenticity got lost somewhere along the way. If this is indicative of the culture at large, we have identified a big problem. We all have or have had a genius at some point, but most of us aren't expressing it. We might as well be robots or use robots for our work. Oh, we already do that. The conclusion that NASA found was that societal systems and structures often suppress humans' natural and innate abilities. NASA also found that our society's infrastructure heavily skews towards convergent thinking while stiff-arming the neurodivergent. Divergent thinking is what NASA was looking for. And before I proceed, it is essential to acknowledge that the world needs both convergent and neurodivergent thinkers. We need thinkers who utilize both left brain and right brain approaches, as well as those who employ a whole brain perspective. We need mechanical and artistic thinkers. It takes all kinds of geniuses to make this world harmonious. The issue here is that neurodivergent thinking and expression are often viewed as a condition that our society tries to fix without ever acknowledging the incredible brilliance in our world's strangest individuals. If presented with a problem to solve and told there is only one way to get the answer, we have just minimalized the divergent, entrepreneurial, and independent thinkers in the room. So, what has happened to our brilliance? Our true and honest thoughts are often masked due to the fear of correction, condemnation, or criticism. Our authenticity, values, and natural abilities have been essentially suppressed as we navigate ways to blend into our society. We can point back to the industrial age as one of the main culprits, but we cannot ignore the digital age, which has further magnified our conformity. First the factories, then our devices. We have fallen victim to the factory mentality that strips away our ability to solve problems independently, to work with our hands, to connect with nature, allowing us to think freely. We have also fallen victim to systematic progress, the need to be better, faster, and bigger across all facets of life. In this world, this means mass production at every level of society. I'm all for progress, but at some point we have to consider what we're compromising for the sake of convenience. Standards were set long ago on what success was supposed to look like, starting in pre-K. And we were all asked to get in line to own our part in contributing to the mass production. If we didn't adapt to the specific model of straight A's or a 4-year degree, there was another line to get in, and it's not easy. Ask any entrepreneur, creator, or neurodivergent thinker trying to survive in this world. Many education advocates have utilized the results of the NASA study to advocate for overhauls of the education system, pushing for more alternative, vocational, or Montessori approaches. I would argue for similar approaches to overhaul corporate America. There's a 98% chance that we aren't thinking outside the box or utilizing our innate inner abilities. Our workforce continues to push us to work in specific ways and at specific times while overloading our plates. Meanwhile, most of us are caught in the middle, trying to make ends meet while trying to remain true to ourselves and our values. We need to protect our genius zone. We need to return to the way we thought when we were 5 years old. We need our freedom back. And to do that, we need a factory reset. If my iPhone can be restored to its original factory settings, why can't we do the same as humans? So how do we reset back to our factory settings? This isn't my question, nor is it one meant for Siri, Alexa, Google, or ChatGPT. Getting back to factory settings is a phrase coined by Matt Boudreau, the founder of Apogee. His life mission is to redefine what normal looks like by supporting families who desire their children to remain in their individual zone of genius through alternative education. I can relate to Apogee's mission because I have 3 children who are all neurodivergent, and they are trying to find themselves. And I want nothing more for them to realize and to retain their ability in this world. It's incredible to see how they learn, put things together, and chase their own interests without being taught a specific way to solve a problem. Instead of being taught, all they need is a bit of guidance. If someone walked onto our property at any set time, they would probably find an absolute mess. But ask any of my kids and they would show you a conglomerate of art, math, geometry, science, chemistry, history, biology, and so much more. They are incredible. You are incredible. We are all incredible. Our brains and bodies are capable of supernatural abilities without even needing AI to assist us. We've become dependent on the machine because at some point, culture told us that we had to be better, bigger, faster, to be more, to have more. But to drive a different point home, we should not misconstrue genius as just an intellectual ability. Genius is an expression. Genius can be an emotional connection. Genius comes down to being genuinely authentic. Our factory reset button requires us to put down our external devices, at least temporarily, and re-examine our natural abilities frequently. We'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Own Your 5 to 9, an organization committed to freeing families of the rat race and burnout. Every organization has a leader, mission, and a set of values that drives the organization. But this is commonly missed in the most important organization in the world, the family. An organization has one mission for how it will impact the world. Why not the family? An organization goes into strategic planning routinely to align its values, mission, and projects. Why not the family? Whose Home, a strategic planning guide for families, is a workbook and a tool needed in all households. Whose Home takes a strategic planning approach with 10 guided exercises to define your core family values, family mission, and tools to operationalize how your family does life together. If your family is facing a big decision, Whose Home is for you. If you're considering a career pivot, Whose Home is also for you. If you desire more intentionality and harmony in your home, Whose Home is for you. Create a healthy culture, not a hustle culture, at home. Visit ownyour5to9.com to claim your copy today. Data shows that most of us have lost or hidden our inner genius, creativity, or spark that makes us unique. So how can we reclaim it? How can we recapture the sense of awe, curiosity, and exploration that we once experienced as children or young adults? And why is it so important to reclaim our foundational attributes? Let's first unpack the last question. The quicker we understand that we are living in a world that only cares about material success, the faster we can unplug and discover our true identities. All roads of our society dangle convenience and safety, but it usually comes with the compromise of our freedoms. As humans, we have the right to choose what is right for us, to be true to our unique purpose, and to love and express ourselves in the way that we were designed, without producing or buying the next best thing. Secondly, we can reclaim our genius through several strategies, and I categorize them in 3 areas: resetting our thinking, renewing our time, and restoring our taste. So let's look at them. Reset our thinking. There is no such thing as a crazy idea. Have you heard that before in a brainstorming meeting and that disclaimer helped you speak up? Well, here's your disclaimer again for life. There is no such thing as a crazy idea. Anything is possible. We can redesign our lives back to how we were meant to live. We have the permission not only to dream, but also to pursue the avenues that brings dreams to life. Let's renew our time. Creativity rarely happens when we are confined to a desk all day or on Zooms all day long. Simplicity is the best path to creativity. We can simplify our approach to work, declutter everything that burdens our time, and create white space to think or get into a flow state. We can also set boundaries using our calendars and our voices to protect the times that are most precious to us, making that time more productive, creative, and authentically true to who we are. And then lastly, we can restore our taste. Imagine someone asking you what flavor you are. No, we are not ice cream or cuisines, but we all have a style and a uniqueness in our character. A blend of our past, our circumstances, our geography, our culture, our current passions and desires. Your flavor is entirely unique from mine. My flavor is a combination of words that I know my wife would roll her eyes about. Sports, data, golf, cookies, writing, planning, reading, running, routine, balance, overthinking, routine, and coffee. And yes, I said routine twice because I am so routine. These are my words, my passions, and it's my flavor. What are your words, your taste, or your unique flavor of life? And is it authentically you? So let's expand our taste, because this is where we can genuinely restore our genius zones. Here are a few recommendations for expanding. Commit to lifelong learning. Read widely and diversely, and remain curious. Exercise the brain with puzzles or brain teasers. Travel to new places and diverse cultures. Seek diverse feedback and encourage diverse thinking to be heard. Exercise the body. Adapt to change and practice good stressors, such as heat and cold exposure or breathing exercises. Self-reflect, meditate, pray, and be mindful. Seek God and His voice. Slow down and make time for hobbies. And lastly, remain positive no matter what. Combining thinking, time, and taste may not necessarily change your life, but it will definitely get you back closer to who you were designed to be. This is freedom. The world deserves your authentic expression, not an artificial one. And as I said earlier, genius is not about certifications, being a savant, or being the most intellectual or talented person in the room. Genius is not even about the ego. Genius is a gift for others. Genius is about your unique expression, which only you can give to this world. And when this happens, there's a 98% chance that your authentic self is an absolute genius. Thank you for listening to the Work-Life Eubiosis podcast, part of the Work-Life resources created by Own Your 5 to 9. I hope that you have found encouragement and a few ideas to strengthen your journey to purpose, freedom, and balance. Have you overcome burnout and found a new way of life? Millions around the globe are still at the risk of burnout and losing it all. And your story may be the one that sparks not only a dream, but action. Visit ownyour5to9.com for more information and submit your story. While you're there, join the Work-Life Eubiosis newsletter and receive additional resources weekly right to your inbox. If you enjoy this podcast, take time to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share it with a friend or loved one. Remember, the most important organization in the world is the family. Let's do our part to strengthen it. Thank you for listening.